Comes through, Chanel finish. This will be taken. And it's Richie James, just activated, fighting room, and then knocked out of bounds on the play by Curtis Bolton. It's Pacheco, clogged up, taken down, nudges his way by the 45.
If you can
10 seconds for him, one of the best in the business. 1st and 10. Fake to Pacheco, out to Moore, one-on-one. Broke a Peters tackle. Merrick has got him. Another good play. Now the offense is moving. 3rd down goal, Pacheco. He may have pierced it, plummeting. In, touchdown! Isaiah Pacheco puts it through. And the Chiefs are on the board.
Watch Tooney, he's going to come in motion and kick out. Pacheco's going to jump inside. And then it's just trying to dance around and push the pile once you get to the goal line. I think that initial wave, he was able to cross the goal line and then...
Who was let go about a month ago. 1st and 10, Mahomes. Smith the block and downfield. He goes, caught by Kelsey. A 27-yard catch and run by Kelsey puts him at the Raider 30. It's Pacheco. He gets it off to James. The flea flicker. Mahomes got him. Kelsey to the 8. Oh, that was a beautiful play.
Taking the same approach here, counting on their defense, keep them out of the end zone.
To the air, Mahomes. Pacheco is open. And so is Watson. Touchdown for a 2nd consecutive game. Almost the same play they ran Monday against the Eagles.
Watch the release here. He goes to the inside. Smollett comes over and drills him, knocks him to the ground.
And then no one got on him.
Right. Credit to Watson.
I mean, saw it. 1st down and 10. Here comes Crosby. There goes Pacheco. Blocked by Tooney. Blocked by Humphrey. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Now down to the 1.
Andy's got to throw the red flag, and he doesn't.
Pacheco will get it nonetheless. Getting in, touchdown. He probably would have had the other one, but he's got another touchdown today, and the Chiefs have their first lead in the game.
Well, and that's where, as a head coach, when you're trying to decide, okay, we're 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Do I take the challenge and maybe get it, or do I trust my guys that over the course of the next 4 plays you can get it in the end zone? Reed deciding not to throw the flag, and
Watson, Mahomes, underneath, Rice on the move, deep block by Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That is a Kansas City touchdown. 39-yard strike, catch and run. Block late in the run.
Hobbs gets distracted by Watson's motion from the left, and he follows Watson too far into the inside. So when Rice works his drag route underneath Watson from right to left, Hobbs is out of position. He can't catch up to him. And Rice uses that speed to work it down the sideline to get in the end zone.
Patrick Mahomes has just thrown it.
Unless you're able to get it 8 yards or so and try a long field goal.
They bring the house. Boy, coming through McDuffie.
O'Connell, who was slow to get up.
On the 7, 1st and 10. Mahomes caught by Rice. A twirling grab and a good one. Carter on the move. Jacobs the call. Look out. Look out. Down he goes. Tranquil and Jones come up with a play. On downs, the Chiefs will take over at the Raiders 17.
Faced with a 3rd and long.
Jacoby Myers on the move. 5 catches, 75 yards for him. 3rd down, 8. The pump fake. Here comes Karlaftis tackling his college teammate.
Hey! Welcome in to Season 5, Week 12 of the Red Hour, the post-Thanksgiving edition. We are live online only today just because we didn't feel like pickling it. I think she was still snowed in somewhere, so no. We're all here. We are live from the W studio doing Week 12 of the Red Hour. It's time to go ahead and introduce the panel. To my far right, we'll start with DJ Q. What's up, bro?
Man?
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Good.
Good. I got to actually chill. I thought this year was gonna be the everyone want to throw a party on Thanksgiving. I got to chill, and I didn't host this year, so that was like.
Did you cook anything?
I was just getting ready to ask that.
I did. So I did most of my cooking the day after, but I mean, I just made some cornbread and bought the ham.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that in you.
I'm not gonna try to do the ham because you know, the honey baked hams are just
Untouchable.
it's undefeated.
They like the internet.
I'm not even gonna try.
Honey baked ham is the internet, for real.
Yeah.
To my right, my immediate right, nephew just touched down from Vegas. The professor of Wall Street, Steve Walls. What's up, nephew?
I didn't bring any winnings, so
Did you play anything?
I played.
All right.
Oh, and you lost.
I always
Didn't
bet
bring
on
any
black.
winnings.
Oh.
No, I didn't gamble. Sports gambling, sports betting.
Oh, I got
but I didn't like gamble, but yeah, I didn't win.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Hung out with the family. Don't have to cook, so it's good.
All right, that saves everybody from eating beanie weenies.
right.
And all the way to the left on the other end of the table, Professor, how much you gonna bet? You know the over under. It's cuz Darren Smith. What's up?
Not much, man.
Your Thanksgiving was good?
It was good. I spent time with the family and I got a chance to watch a lot of football and get some rest, much needed rest.
There were some good games this weekend, especially college.
You know, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, that was a good game. Thanksgiving was great. I got the holiday season kicked off. Got to see Mariah.
I didn't know she was in town.
She didn't hardly do any. I don't think she did any promotion for that.
She did. She announced she was going on tour. Tickets sold out in 2 hours.
Oh, that's
That
what
was that was it.
Okay, so no promo needed.
Nope.
That makes sense.
Because she usually does this holiday show in New York only on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
So she decided to take it on the road and do 13 cities. We were the 4th city in the tour. Now she'll be in Canada. She'll wrap up Christmas Eve in New York City.
I was surprised to hear about it the night of.
Oh no, it was amazing.
I didn't know about the line. I literally saw your tweet.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw it go up, I'm like, what? It's time. You know I am about Christmas.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Christmas music. So dang,
Why unfortunately?
for
You
real. Jesus is the reason for the season. And Q, I thought about you when I was watching the game because they showed Patrick Mahomes before the game with his helmet off, and I was like, "Oh, he need to find out Q's moisturizing tips because his locks need a little moisture."
I mean, I could help him with my expertise. He just had to put me on payroll.
That's
He
what's
does
up.
have
I
a
mean,
contract, don't he?
Yeah.
Q from State Farm.
Yeah. No, I ain't got to do that. Yeah, I could just be the DJ with good hair.
There it is, because he
Better
needs
than Becky with the
he needs the moisture tips. That's for damn sure. So last week we were bashing on this team just because it was just they just looked horrible. And they're 8-3, which is still respectable for this time of the year, but they went to Las Vegas and beat up on the Raiders 31-17. It started out like making some people nervous because of the way our offense has been playing. It's like, are we going to come back from this? What is happening right now? But we know this is a division game, and we know how these Raiders stand up against these Chiefs a lot of times. And them playing hard for this new interim coach and just so much going on in Vegas positive right now. He's like, okay, there's no way this is going to end well for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs chiefed up.
Well, I think they played well for the coach, but I think the quarterback play is significantly better.
Oh, yes, way different than
it's not Derek Carr for one.
No, and
we
Garoppolo, who's Carr Jr.
Yeah, and we saw Derek Carr stink it up for the Saints yesterday. And then Garoppolo,
so Conley, I guess, went in the tent for a little bit yesterday. And you saw Garoppolo warming up on the sidelines.
Never mind.
Up and got him back
never mind.
Dude, all the Raiders fans said they're like, "Oh, ain't this a what? Can I get my money back?" And then Conley came
2
back
snaps
out.
later. It was never mind.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we all good. We all good.
Got that shot real quick. That's what it was.
Yeah. So the Chiefs 31-17 over the Raiders. And before we get into the game, got to send a shout out to Andy Reid, who is now the most wins for the Chiefs franchise, the winningest coach in Chiefs franchise history. Mm-hmm. And he's the only NFL head coach to have winning seasons under 2 different franchises. Winningest coach for 2 franchises.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Also, got to send a shout out to Travis Kelce, who is the fastest tight end in NFL history to 11,000 yards. Mm-hmm. He did that yesterday. Definitely is going to have that yellow jacket one day. Probably first ballot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Trav, who actually showed up yesterday.
And I guess we're on this new thing, Q, where we have to watch Taylor Swift's every move. So there was a breaking news alert on my phone a few hours ago that Taylor Swift went right from the Southern Hemisphere right to Kansas City.
Oh.
So she came right here.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess we're doing Taylor Swift jet watch now.
Woo-hoo.
Exactly. It's like,
Look at the economy.
And
welcome back.
Speaking of Travis, he has 732 receiving yards so far this
For the season.
Yeah,
on his way to another
eighth.
1,000-yard season, which will be the 8th in the row.
Yep.
Yeah, so as long as he continues to play unlike he did last week.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and then we'll get there. So we had a couple of firings. Panthers have fired another head coach. Can't say we didn't see that one coming. And Marcus Peters got cut. I didn't see that one happening. And you said you saw that they've been having some.
He was out there. Got cut today.
He was on the wall.
Yeah, he and the head coach had been getting into it. They were disappointed in the fact that he hadn't been, he was Olaying when it comes to tackling. And so yesterday was like kind of the last straw because there was a tackle there for him. And he just, and so they benched him and he and the coach got into it. Coach said what he had to say. And, one is from Oakland, one's from Compton. You know how that could end up. And so after halftime, he came out in a beanie and told him he was going to be cut the next day.
Yeah, because that's what I saw. I think it was after halftime I saw him and he was in street clothes and they were like, yeah, they benched him. And I was like, wait, he's not injured? Like, what's going on?
But you can't change into your street clothes because you got benched.
Well, I think he's still in uniform. He just wearing a beanie.
All right, I was going to say, dog.
But that I guess they don't know Marcus Peters' MO. Like, that's what he used to do. He was the one that just tries to cause a fumble, things like that. He never was a physical player. He never tackling just wasn't his thing.
I mean, you get that.
It ain't no more.
Not be your thing with a defensive coach like that. Like, nah, he's not going to.
He never you watch his film. He never came with a big hit. He did none of that. He just was always either interception or cause a fumble. That was it. Try to strip.
He was good at it, though.
Yeah, he was. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
not no disrespect to him.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, that was just his thing. He never was a
Deion was
tackler.
that in his career.
Yeah,
Deion was that, of course.
Well, no. Deion said he could tackle. He just didn't have to because they never ran to his side for real.
But Deion also Olayed a lot. Deion wasn't the stick your nose in there. He wanted the pretty plays.
He went in when he went in.
Yeah. He wanted the pretty plays.
Speaking of pretty plays yesterday, your guy Patrick Mahomes in the offense kind of showed up. 27 for 34, 298 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't turn the ball over.
Nope.
Sacked one time. And Isaiah Pacheco, I still say they gave up on the run a little too. They didn't go heavy on the gas on the run.
Well, being down 14-0, you kind of had to get away from them. That was some of their own doing by not sticking with the run.
But by halftime, they was back.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they got back due to the passing, but they had some good run plays that helped get them there, get to the goal line, and and finish it off with Pacheco. I think what we saw with Mahomes yesterday is that once they kind of got down 14-0, something clicked. What it was that clicked, I'm not sure. But the fact that I was telling Steve, it seemed like he finally got patient and was letting the plays play itself out. He was going through his progressions. He wasn't just like hiking the football and trying to run off. He actually was looking around, reading his progressions, and then finding the open receiver, target him and hit him. And I think that they actually look like the team that resembled the Chiefs that we remember in the past. And as I was telling Steve, with it being tied 14-14, they were going to have to score in the second half.
Can we reserve to saying that something clicked in the offense until they at least do it 2 weeks in a row?
Right.
Can we just? They looked good yesterday, so we'll see what happens in Green Bay.
But you see, but the reason I say that is that do we remember any of the receivers dropping passes?
There was some drop passes yesterday.
He had 7. He obviously had 7 incompletions, but what I'm saying is it wasn't obvious drops like MVS dropping something in the end zone or anything like that.
Oh, because he was open in the end zone during the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Right.
But that was the one that I think, from what we were told, he was the decoy to where Travis could be open.
Nah. You think about that. Patrick didn't have the ball when it was the first reverse that happened.
Yeah.
And that's when MVS was wide open. Because everyone came down and thought it was going to be the run, and Patrick didn't even have the ball. So
when he got the ball, he didn't look at 11.
No, he that's because he didn't the cornerback had already made up ground.
Because he had, you could see the all 22 of it. They had the deep receiver, and then they had the middle, and everybody was stacked on that hash, on that side of the hash, and even the safety. He's still where he could have thrown the ball.
Yeah.
And where Patrick can't, we've seen him throw the ball.
Yeah, of course.
That was a makeable throw.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing it there.
Did they give that play a name? Do y'all know the name of that play?
No.
Because they should definitely call it the
They've
cha-cha
done that
slide.
play before, though.
Yeah, that was reverse.
Yeah,
But they got to call it the cha-cha slide. Reverse. They got to. I'm just saying.
Now, do you all put much stock into? Because I saw, I think it was a play sheet, and it showed that they play the majority of like the same 4 receivers. Like, do you think
I think there were only 6 receivers that were targeted?
Do you think that's part of like the success, and especially with these guys, is getting guys not only more snaps, but the guys that are hot in the game, like keeping them there?
No, I think one of the things that happened was you had 2 receivers that were out, and so you kind of it limited the number of the receivers, and I think that was actually good.
Who was McCole, and who else was out?
And Kadarius
Toney. You know, but also the coaching staff had gone in this week following the Eagles loss. They went in the film and trying to dissect and see what was going on and why they weren't having as much success with the receivers. And as Steve talked about, is that when you keep trying to spread the ball all around to all these receivers, you're not getting enough rhythm,
and that's what I'm saying.
And so what they did, they just cut down the number of players.
That means absolutely crap to me, because this guy has won big by spreading the ball around to everybody.
Yes, to other veterans.
But this is a week-to-week league. But you have to change and adjust. And it hasn't been working for him for real.
Well, I'm not gonna go back into the whole Patrick Mahomes still is doing the most of doing the least right now, because yesterday there was connections made. The ball, Rashid Rice, over 100 yards yesterday, and I didn't know he was number 1 in the league for yards after catch.
Yep.
So that's something I learned today while looking up these stats.
Yeah, he's definitely coming into his own, and just asked him, early on in the season, as far as, what is it going to take for you to get on the same page with Patrick Mahomes? And he said, man, I just don't want to be a robot. Like, I'm going out here and I'm trying to learn to play. I'm trying to make sure I line up correctly, and then get him to trust me. And finally, he's like, now I'm there. So like on Saturdays, he said, I'm able to relax, be myself when guys are just hanging out. I'm able to do that. And now I think he's fine.
All right. On that note, we'll take our first break of the evening. Season 5, week 12 of the Red Hour. We're live online today and online only. So make sure you tell your friends they can check us out on YouTube or on Facebook Live. Be sure to like the Red Hour. When we come back, we're going to talk about this Chiefs defense. We'll talk about the possible playoff scenarios if the playoffs started today. And reminding you that Monday Night Football tonight is the Bears and the Vikings. I swear to Bob, we just saw this game 2 weeks ago.
Feels like it.
It feels like we just watched this game. But nonetheless, the Bears are in Minnesota playing the Vikings tonight. Thursday Night Football, you got the Seahawks against Dallas. And then the Chiefs have this Sunday Night Football game against Green Bay. So, yeah, lots of fun there. We'll be back in just a little bit talking more Chiefs football, talking playoffs. It's coming up. You got it where you want it. It's the Red Hour. Back in moments.
It's that time for Love It.
And we are back. Season 5, week 12. It's the Red Hour. Q, Walls, Smith, Tyler. We're in the building talking Chiefs football. The Chiefs on this Victory Monday took down the Faders 31-17. And I love how in the past week, Raiders fans have been all in my timeline talking all kind of trash, just posting all kind of memes, and they haven't been online in 2 days.
I mean, they kind of do that. I think they just do that as a formality now. Because, like, how do you get excited?
And that's what I'm like, you know what? If you guys had won a game occasionally, I could see you.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're just like.
Yeah, Raiders friends. You hang out with those kind of people?
Some of them just happen to casualties of doing business with folks. Some of them are
Yeah.
DJs or, you know,
I mean, it could
other
be
radio
worse. I mean,
people.
you could actually be a Los Angeles Raider player and lose by 14 points and still think that you're the better team.
Yeah, you guys couldn't see the game because I was. The Chiefs have the advantage because of the tiebreaker scenario. And all of this could get flipped on its head because Miami and Jacksonville, they have very easy schedules as we close out the season. The Chiefs have the 4th easiest schedule, I think, as far as it goes right now.
Yep.
But Jacksonville is playing very well. And with an easy schedule coming up for them, if the Chiefs don't continue to play like they're playing, like they played yesterday, it could go south for them really, really fast.
All the Chiefs have to do is win out, and they're number one.
That's it. All they got to do, literally. You said it. All they have to do is win out. We saw this Buffalo Bills team take Philly into overtime yesterday. Josh Allen looked like Josh Allen yesterday for the the first time in last few weeks.
You could look at that two ways though. Is Buffalo really good, or is Philly really like?
And we've
not
had
that
this
good?
argument because Philly hasn't really played anybody up to the standard of the Chiefs. And he won't say it, but the Chiefs lost that game. Philly didn't win it.
Mhm. Okay. Q knows it. He just don't want it. Like, but
the Chiefs, the
Eagles-
Chiefs tried not to score no points in the second half. Got you.
Okay, but that's kind of what happened.
That's what they've been struggling with. If they would have kept their foot on the gas and still been able to score, that would have been a blowout. You know the point though is that the fact that the Eagles aren't where they should be.
Been saying that since week 1.
Okay, I just want to make sure you knew.
I've been saying that, so now you want to come to week 12 and then say it?
Shout out to Tom. He said so much for chicken and pickle.
Oh yeah,
we missed you guys. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. So the NFC, obviously, Philly is the favorite to repeat representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And you guys all agree with that?
Anything can happen in the NFC.
It absolutely can.
I would say more the 49ers. Just looks like to right now, it's like more the 49ers.
I cannot take my eyes off this Detroit Lions team.
Oh, I could after Thursday.
Well,
Jared Goff is showing why the Rams traded him for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but this again. I mean, if you're going to do that, you got to do the same thing for the Chiefs. It was a loss on prime time.
Yeah, but the way they looked, I mean, Jared Goff 2 straight games where he combined for 6 turnovers by himself. That's kind of hard. I mean, Patrick doesn't even do that.
He don't, but he loses games. He
Yeah,
looked
not
really
back
bad
like
last
that.
week. I'm just saying, if you're going to say that about the Lions, you have to say that same thing about the Chiefs.
I mean, we said it about the Chiefs last week.
And I get it, but that's what I'm saying. This Lions team, though, that one loss, I can't judge them for that.
Yeah,
you basically judging them off of their past. Like they don't have a winning culture.
Yeah.
Whereas the Chiefs, I mean,
because like literally they were talking about this Lions team hasn't had a winning record like this since '69.
Well, at this point, I mean, they've had a winning record when they made the playoffs. I think last time might have been 1991.
Because when I'm telling you, I hadn't seen ever on Thanksgiving the Lions like look this good.
No.
Be like interested in watching the Lions play on Thanksgiving.
And the stadium was full.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
The stadium was full.
Because you would only get excited about a Thanksgiving Day Lions game as if it was against the Packers.
And to see John Madden talk his stuff and pull out the turducken and all of that. I mean, there was a reason to watch the game, but now it's to watch the Lions play. So NFC, everybody's agreeing Philly is the team to beat basically.
Yeah.
49ers.
Well, okay.
Well, those 2 teams match up this Sunday, so we get a chance to see how that.
We'll find out how that goes. But I find that funny that you're not talking about your Cowgirls.
I mean, that's a given. That's a given. I don't need to talk about them.
He ain't talked about them since week 1.
And I don't need to. Why you trying to give it? And when I started talking about them, they started losing. But now that I laid off, it's like they winning. So just let one enough alone.
It's not because you stopped talking about it.
It is.
Yeah,
they've been winning. What's the Cowboys' record?
8-3.
What's the Chiefs' record?
8-3.
Thank you. We right where we need to be, baby.
Okay, yeah, but the Cowboys haven't beat anyone with a winning record, have they?
Huh?
Have they beat anyone with a winning record?
Don't worry about all that.
And the Cowboys, the true picture of the Cowboys doesn't come into play until that very first playoff game.
True.
Well, and then they do play the Eagles again, so we'll get.
Then that's when they go home. So
I ain't gotta talk about it.
And we don't.
And they play the Detroit Lions.
You don't want to talk about it.
No, they've been winning, man. Just let them.
All right, we'll leave them alone.
I mean, beating Carolina, that'll.
But this AFC playoff picture is pretty wild. I mean, your guy LeBron Jackson. He's you hate to bring his name up again in the whole MVP thing. Because,
you hate to.
Well, I mean, people bring it up all the time, but then he gets injured and then he's off the list.
I mean, they taking care of him this year.
Well, I mean, that any given Sunday.
I think the front runner right now is Jalen.
Look, I'm not going to wood for him. And that's he had
Patrick
a way
still
better
second
year
somewhere.
last year.
Okay. So this Ravens squad, these Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's funny that they never give him his due when they start talking about these quarterbacks in the Patrick Mahomes era, as they call it. It's always Burrow and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been in Jacksonville. I mean,
well, his run kryptonite has been the Chiefs. So that's...
it has been. But I mean, even we turn our thing around on Joe Burrow. It only takes a game. So do we give Jacksonville that look? Do we?
Not yet.
What are we waiting for?
I think
got to see
history,
where everything shapes out when the playoffs begin, just to see where the teams are. Because right now, Chiefs have the tiebreaker over both Jacksonville and Miami. But when you see how the AFC North is with the Steelers and the Browns in that mix, and the Colts coming out of nowhere, you don't know if Houston is going to come into and get that 7th seed.
Yeah.
And Denver out of nowhere now.
Denver is trying to climb their way up in the AFC West.
Denver can make it into the playoffs. So
are we ready? Should we wait about 5-6 more games before we start having this conversation again?
Well, I mean, they're winning games and they are literally moving up in the AFC West, but because the Raiders keep going the other way.
I mean, if we want to slow cook this conversation and leave it on the grill in the foil for a while, we can. It can get a little more tender.
Speaking of tender, that quarterback in Denver,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I said, just like LeBron Jackson in Baltimore. We're only a week away every week from it being that hit where it just takes, because he's actually had to come out of the game a couple times in the past few weeks from being hit. So it can happen. So the Chiefs are no longer like the favorite where there's just like, all right, you still got to go through Arrowhead, because they're
not the team to be feared this year.
No, and there's the possibility that the 7th annual Arrowhead Invitational may not take place,
which is fine with me.
So you want to be on the road in the playoffs.
I mean,
traveling
with receivers that can't catch.
Let's go to Miami. Let's go down to Miami.
Wow.
Let's go down to Miami in January.
We lost a game in Miami in January.
Tampa. Yeah, Florida.
Tampa, Miami, tomato.
But no, I think they won't. Even if they wouldn't be. They probably be the 2nd seed, which still means they'll have be at home. It would just be the AFC Championship game that would be on the road.
So who's the 2 teams in the AFC y'all are worried about?
I wouldn't be worried about any team right now in the AFC. No. I mean, look at the.
I'm not gonna be like Steve. I've said that the 2 teams, if they make it, and depending on how the matchups fare out, I'd say Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't really have a quarterback.
Cleveland.
Hold on, listen now, man. Listen, man, learn something now.
What?
Yeah, Cleveland
I hear their defense is pretty good this year.
That's the point. I mean, if Myles Garrett is still healthy, that defense is number 1 in the league for a reason. I mean, they can cause problems.
And I've quietly heard his name in the MVP conversation for 3 weeks now.
And with the Houston Texans, you got a young team with C.J. Stroud that can go tit for tat with Mahomes and anybody right now. And so the way he's throwing receivers open, and the way their defense playing, they're a young team. They're young enough to know what they don't know, and that's the most dangerous type.
So we're just going to eliminate the Ravens from that conversation. Go right.
And that's what I was wondering.
Hold on. Sean, I mean, first of all, you're asking the question. The thing is, you wouldn't see the Ravens until the AFC Championship game, but you have to get there. So to get there, you got to face 1 or 2 other teams. So when he asks the question, what's the 2 teams you might fear or worry about, those are the 2 teams that you would see before you see the Ravens.
So you're not worried about the
when
Bengals,
you was going to worry about them.
No, but are the Bengals not
no,
Bengals are done. They cooked.
No, without Joe.
Bengals, I meant Bills.
They'll be cooked too.
I meant Bills.
But you still got to play the Bills. You still got to play the Bengals. You still have to play Chargers again.
And in that order, we've got Green Bay, Bills, the Patriots, which means absolutely nothing. We got the Raiders coming to Kansas City.
Is a away game?
No, it's a
home game?
Arrowhead game.
The next home game.
So about the Patriots team, Steve and I were discussing it earlier. I've said it at the beginning.
You spent time talking about the Patriots.
It was brief, but I spent before the season started for us. I had mentioned how this early in the season, the struggles that Bill Belichick is having with this team, and sure they might not fire him because it's Bill Belichick and what he's done for the Patriots squad. Do you think Bill will step down though?
Mm-mm.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
He ain't going down with the ship. I'll tell you that right
Mm-mm.
now.
Oh no, man! The man's ego is one thing, but
Exactly.
But he's also the general manager. It could be,
and he could give that up and just be the GM.
Well, I could see him giving the GM up and still being the coach because he wants that Don Shula record. He wants that all-time record.
He won't give it this squad.
He might not. I
think they're a quarterback
But hold on.
away.
But it could also be a situation where a team quote unquote trades for him. If the Washington Commanders, get rid of Ron Rivera and get rid of the staff, including Eric Bieniemy, they might make a trade for Bill Belichick.
But do you? I don't know. I think that
would be what I'm saying. That'd be a way for him to say Grayson not getting fired, where saying Robert Kraft gets draft picks.
Yeah, but nobody thinks Robert Kraft would fire him.
Yeah, but I don't think so either. But in that scenario, I would think that Washington would clear room for Eric Bieniemy next up than they would going outside the organization.
But if you do you want that job?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
you've been wanting a job.
Is Washington the place where you want to lay your hat?
So can you pick and choose at this point if you want to be a head coach?
That's what I'm saying.
I would like to see him go to LA.
Nah, they would
to the Chargers.
Yes,
they would give them. They would give it to They would go after Jim Harbaugh. They would give it. Nah, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I can see him throw money at Harbaugh.
Yeah, because LA, I think is
he from LA.
And I don't think that matters because I think LA is too sexy of a market.
And that don't.
And Bieniemy is not a sexy head coach.
I mean, he's not. Like you said, he holds players accountable. You're not going to have the sexy team.
Well,
Sean McVay works out there because he's young.
He's Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's still reports coming out of DC that some of the players are still going to around with very asking will they take some of EB's power away. Like you still got players to this day going into week 12 that are still whining about how Bieniemy is coaching them and stuff like that. If Bieniemy is the head coach, he needs to have carte blanche where he can get rid of players to where he can bring in the players, free agent stuff that
and that's what I'm saying. Are they not like clearing that pathway now? I mean, did they trade Chase yet or they kept him?
I'll give you another spot for EB. Carolina.
Hell no.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't think he works there.
How about the Bible Belt? No.
You don't think so?
On that note, we are going to take another break.
I like him in Carolina.
And we'll be back. We'll be talking about this Green Bay Chiefs matchup on Sunday Night Football coming up this coming week. We'll talk about the rest of the schedule and how we think the Chiefs will fare if they continue to play like they're playing or if they revert back to what they have been looking like offensively. So stick around. It's all coming up right here. Season 5, Week 12. It's the Red Hour live from the W Studios. Back in moments. And we're back. It's the Red Hour live from the W Studios. Week 12, the Chiefs on this Victory Monday taking down the Las Vegas Faders 31-17. Tonight, Monday Night Football, the Bears and the Vikings. Thursday night, Seahawks and Dallas. And then the Chiefs take on Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Is this even going to be a contest for real?
You think it won't?
I mean, if the Green Bay Packers showed up on on Thanksgiving. Come out to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the first time that Jordan Love played against the Chiefs, right? Where they had his mom sitting way up
Mom
in
and his
the
sister.
in the, in
Or was that
That was
Mom and his
last
girlfriend?
season or 2 seasons?
2 seasons,
2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mom
remember
and his
that?
girlfriend?
Remember how he
That
looked?
was-
Didn't look good. I think this is going to be a time where he's trying to go out and try to compete.
Well, and
with
that's
that
what,
song. Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think you can base that off of how they've played anywhere else, because again, the Chiefs are gonna get the best of everybody.
And we're in Green Bay.
Champs.
And we're in Green
And
Bay.
you're in Green Bay, and it's prime time. It's the perfect opportunity to make a name for yourself. I'm a la Detroit Lions, the week 1 of the season. Like, there's a lot to be played for.
So you mentioned earlier that things are clicking for the Chiefs offensively. Do you think that this is the road to the reparations for the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs? Do you think this is where it begins?
I do. I think Sunday's win against the Raiders and in the manner in which they did, I think they kind of found a blueprint, not having so many receivers that you have to target or whatever. Just I think if they go with their base, obviously still got to include MVS in it somewhere. You can't pay the man $11 million to be a decoy. Yeah, he'll take it, but I don't think you want to do that. But
they play Pairs more to sit down. Joe Burrow sitting there.
Yeah, he's hurt too. But to your point, I think that they can capitalize and parlay off of what they did yesterday. And look, and the way the defense has played, look, they to give up 14 quick points in the manner in which they did, and then hold them down to 3 points the remainder of the game. Devontae Adams had 4 catches for 59 yards, I think, for the first quarter, and only 1 catch for 14 yards the remainder of the game. I mean, the way that the cornerbacks, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Justin Reed, with them open field tackles, I just think that they're doing pretty good. So I think they can parlay off of that.
What is that kid's name? Trevor? The most penalized player in the NFL right now?
For Denver?
For the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, the lineman.
The lineman.
Trevor.
Donovan.
You mean Jawan Taylor?
Jawan
Taylor and him.
I don't know.
Him and L'Jarius Sneed are
L'Jarius
tied.
Sneed is getting penalized because of
He's
aggression.
aggressive.
We're talking about just holding and standing off sides, just dumb shit.
I mean, but that happens, doesn't it?
A lot. Not to the tune of what he's doing.
He hasn't gotten. He didn't get penalized.
Yes, he did.
Yesterday, did he?
Twice.
No, that was Donovan
Really?
Smith.
No, he got twice.
Well, they only had 4 penalties, so they didn't have many. 4 penalties for 30 yards.
Yeah, twice. Because that's what made me think of it. Because they started talking about it. It's like this kid is the most penalized player in the NFL, and definitely for the Kansas City Chiefs squad. Then they showed Sneed second, and I was like, dude, what? Every week? But nevertheless,
they were tied. But
yeah, because he's got way more.
I mean, I think they said they were like 1 and 2 or the top 3 in the league.
Oh, they're 1 and 2, but I don't think Sneed is second in the league. I think it's down a little bit further on the list. But
okay.
So the Chiefs offensively, they did make some connections yesterday. And do you think that Rashee is the receiver? Is this going to be our go-to guy?
I'm not gonna say go to, but I think he's gonna be. I think after yesterday's game, he's gonna be one of Patrick's go-to receivers. I mean, because stop and think about it. He went to Justin Watson 11 times in the Monday night game and only went to him once yesterday. So, and I don't know if you heard the outcries of the people or what, but he was not a focal point at all. Yeah, he did get a touchdown catch, but that was about it.
I mean, were the Raiders really doubling Travis as much this game as Philly was last game?
They were. They had him covered.
Chiefs were getting him on them crossing routes. They, for some reason, act like they just didn't have an answer for that.
Well, and also, even though he was doubled, Patrick still made sure he got him the ball.
And just like previous weeks, we knew that he's going to be double covered. He'd be that guy that the defense would have their eye on, but somehow he still gets the ball and he still makes the yards.
If you go look at some of the catches that Travis made yesterday, those were in tight windows.
Yeah,
very tight.
No, definitely.
Because he missed a couple of passes yesterday.
There's not too many people in the league that can make those throws. But just the offense clicking as a whole, I feel like they ran the ball a lot too. You got Isaiah Pacheco with 15 attempts, 55 yards, and then
34 receiving yards yesterday.
So I mean, you're playing more of a balanced attack, which Now teams just can't sit back and be in a zone and say, all right, we're just going to let you throw the ball.
And they said that was their game plan, to try to keep him stationary and not let him move around, because once you let Patrick move around in the pocket, that's when Patrick does Patrick things.
Yeah, and he still ran the ball 5 times too.
He absolutely did. So this game against Green Bay, and again, the schedule coming up, it's absolutely a winnable schedule. We can win out. But we also thought that a couple of the games that we'd be able to take down easy, and we did not.
Yeah.
So the Bills, the way they played yesterday, I think if their play continues to go the way it is, then that could be a trouble game for us. And again, the Raiders, any given Sunday.
The Raiders right now are just going to be trying to play spoiler. I think the same with the Chargers. You got to go up to play the Patriots, Bill Belichick.
So I mean that Bills game, I think they're going. You won't see the best of Josh Allen, but they'll try.
But Josh Allen, he loves going against Patrick Mahomes, and just like yesterday when he went goal for goal with Jalen Hurts, you see that a lot when he takes on the Chiefs.
They have a better defense though now, so
there's that.
And Josh Allen hasn't won in Arrowhead.
Really?
Huh?
No. I don't think Josh Allen has won in Arrowhead, has he?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say he had to.
When they win.
They beat the Chiefs in the regular season. He just can't do it in the playoffs.
That's right. Because we beat them in the playoffs after they beat us in the regular season.
Yeah, and they won last year.
He did.
They won last
year.
year.
He did.
You just made that up.
I did. I'm just thinking like, hey, has he won?
Well, what do you expect from somebody rooting for the Cowboys?
Usually there. I mean, you be sitting next to me.
Yeah, I'm just thinking playoffs. Like, yeah. So
different.
Yeah, and you know he reads, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We were both there.
Yeah.
Right. So the Chiefs, I know last week I went in heavy on them because I just had never seen this squad with Patrick Mahomes look so bad. But yesterday's game, it looks like it was one of those, I can will it back. Let me find a way. We made it happen. So even before halftime, they tied it up. And then the defense stepped up and didn't allow the Raiders to score, at least in the end zone.
I was going to ask you about, and I was going to ask you, I know we're talking a lot about the offense, but defensively, the Chiefs, especially as you get to 14 points, I think it says a lot about Spags and, the defensive front. Steve and I, we were wondering if the Chiefs were going to get a sack. And I think Koloftis had one like within the last
one sack
of the game. But the fact that they were able to keep them at the end zone and make the literally in-game adjustments after the, in the middle of the first half, and, the way that they played and covered those receivers, you didn't hear much about Josh Jacobs after that long run.
No.
You didn't hear anything from Devontae Adams after his, after the first quarter for real. So I think,
You could see it in Spags' face after that quick 14 that the Raiders put up, that something happened, and he was like, no, not on this squad.
Yeah.
And they went in. After that, that was it. They just basically started to shut them down and do what they were doing, because they're famous for getting crippled under the whole man coverage, but Spags comes up with a plan and spreads it out and just shuts down everybody. And we saw that. And the run, which the Chiefs usually, even with the Raiders or anybody bad, they'll get a good 100-yard runner on us.
I mean, he did that. He did 110.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. But
because he had 100, I think it was before the first half.
Right, and I was going to say after the second half.
But yeah, after that,
kibosh, which is rare for them on the run. So I was proud of our defense, and they continue to impress me every week. And then the fact that they're a solid defense through this entire season is something new.
And I think also for yesterday, I think like experience, especially in the coaching staff, because you could kind of see like Antonio Pierce on a few like instances where he wasn't really sure, like it was a fourth down or if it was a third and long, and it was certain situations he just wasn't really abreast on. You can kind of see them like talk and think it out a lot. I think that was like a difference in the game. I don't know if it's gonna matter in a couple of weeks, but
don't y'all take this the wrong way, but I don't know, we're a long way from it. But but you talk about receivers, right? Like coaching and the fact that, remember Spags when the Jamar Chase got up to, what was it, 200 yards, and he still kept L'Jarius Sneed in the one-on-one. Remember that was the one-on-one matchup? 2021. So he's able from that point until now, look at just the adjustments that he makes at halftime. Because
The
you
growth.
think about Jacoby Myers yesterday and how he was balling.
Yeah,
he
was early.
Devontae Adams balling
Very
during the first
early.
half, and then
First
they made
quarter,
they made that adjustment, and it's like, oh, well, where'd they go?
Right.
So I mean, you just think of Spags in-game adjustments, man. He's been killing it.
Now, and I didn't really pay attention that much. Do you think they went more man or more zone in the second half?
Oh,
That's the whole thing.
They were still
Yeah.
playing man.
Yeah, they were still playing man, but they switched up when they needed to. So when it became apparent that they were making their adjustments, Spags adjusted to their adjustments and did what they needed to do. And that's the difference between some of the defense that we had before, because they would just go man coverage and that was it. Like they couldn't play zone. And that's when we got exposed a lot of times.
And the biggest thing yesterday was just a couple of missed tackles because, talking to the players after the game, they just said it was just a couple of mental errors that they had as it relates to, how it got to be 14-0, especially on the Josh Jacobs. I mean, it was literally just, just a missed tackle where somebody was just a little bit, just like a half step away from
on the outside.
To where they, where they could make the play. And, so those things happen, but, but they literally never once lost doubt on how they were going to play and how they were going to win the game.
It's crazy how this defense, you just can't shake them. You can do what you're going to do. And like you said, they were up 14 so fast, but that defense like, psh.
And Steve and I have said that once we always used to say if the defense ever caught up with the offense. Now we're the offense catches with the defense that the Chiefs will walk in and out of Las Vegas for the Super Bowl with the championship, no doubt.
Man, if the offense looks anything close to what this defense has been looking like all season, then there's not a chance in hell for any of these other teams.
I don't think you see it at any point this season.
But
so you don't think the offense is going to? You think yesterday was a fluke?
I mean, it was against the Raiders.
So what makes you say
Grinch
the offense
that stole football
can't get back to where they need to be?
I don't think we've seen it, and I don't think they have the experience to see it. Because, like, again, 2 weeks ago, Rashee Rice is still trying to learn plays and just now getting comfortable.
He's a rookie. What do you expect?
So that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you don't
but
have.
You don't think the experience of the ball controller can help that?
If we go back to the Eagles game, yes, it would make sense if you had guys that you trust in. But when you're in the moment and you have guys that you can't trust, like, I think that's when he starts turning into Superman. I think that's when he tries to do too much. And there's only certain teams you can like take over like that. It's not too many teams that, and especially later in the season when days are a lot uglier. I mean, the weather is a lot uglier. The field is a lot uglier. Like, you're not getting 75 and sunny all the time. So yeah, it's going to be that. And I don't think the team, and especially from the wide receiver core, really has that confidence yet. And I would go as deep as to say even in the running back room.
So the thing about that, and I would agree with you. However, they've been getting wins like in other ways.
That's
like sometimes,
that's fine, yeah.
Sometimes your defense. I mean, we hear it all the time. Defense wins championships. But sometimes your defense can compensate for your offense.
Sometimes. And I think it's been a balance of both. I think it's been a balance of Patrick being able to be magical in certain situations, and then some situations where the defense just doesn't allow, the other team to do anything.
This team is 8-3.
8-3, and I don't. Yeah, the teams that really got the spot. I mean, the Lions. You're seeing how they're playing. I mean, Philly. That was a revenge game, so that could have went either way. But how do you explain the Broncos loss? Like, how do you explain
those?
No, and that's
you get
those every season. But I think there was still like some sort of hope, some sort of like, and not necessarily hope, but you had the potential there because the offense was still high powered. Now you're not scoring the points that you need to score.
All right, well, let me ask you this question. In these last 6 games of the season coming up, what do you think the Chiefs' record is going to be in these 6 games?
I think they drop at least 1. I don't know if they drop 2. 2 would be a fluke, and I think the second one might happen in the last 2 weeks of the season, but I think they drop at least 1. I don't know if it's the Bills game.
Chiefs went out, finished with a 14-3 record like they did last year.
Okay.
They need it. I mean, they got to get home field advantage. That's what they're going to do.
I think they get 4 to 5 losses. So
How many do the Eagles end up with? Just one loss?
no, I think they drop maybe 2 more.
To who?
They've already clinched. I hadn't looked at
I mean,
the schedule.
They might
no,
just-
No, I'm asking because they play the Niners and they play the Cowboys and they got
It could be
the
either of
Giants
those
twice.
two.
They got Washington. They got Arizona. So, I mean,
Either
are they really going to lose those last 4 games?
Washington,
49ers
maybe
coming in.
49ers, maybe.
49ers coming in, Cowboys going to Philly. Then you got the
Cowboys,
Seahawks.
they go
I
to-
think
Oh,
it
they go to-
happens
they go to
between
Cow-
those 3,
they go to
either San Francisco, Dallas, or Washington. It's
I think
either,
they may fool around and lose to Arizona.
If they lose to Arizona, everybody needs to just sit out the rest of the season.
The
I mean, they
Giants
lost
have
to
been
the,
rolling.
they lost to the Jets this year.
They
So,
did.
I mean,
If they
They
lose, if the Eagles lose to the Niners and then they lose another game, they're not going to have home field advantage. They're going to have to go to Candlestick for that game instead of the 49ers going to there. So they can't afford to
but
lose.
that
any
is
more games.
assuming the
Road to Super
49ers
Bowl,
win
the
out.
NFC
I mean,
goes.
well,
They're gonna
to-
lose one of those New
you
York.
just
They're
said
going to lose
2
one of those
games,
Giants
but, I mean,
games.
Hold on, you said they're going to lose 2 more games.
I
But
think
the games they're not going to lose to are the 2 best teams that they're going to be playing. They're going to lose to 2 of the worst teams between the Giants,
they
the
could.
Cardinals, and the Commanders.
They're going to lose one of those Giants games.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't think they lose the Giants game
So,
either.
so we got
So-
a question about. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Croy asked about what's going on with Ross. Any chance he gets touches?
That's
on
what I
the field
want to
sometime
ask.
soon?
That's what I wanted to ask because his charges are gone now. So,
Yeah, that happened today.
So,
Well, he can still get suspended by the commissioner.
but and I don't think that's happening unless y'all think it's a game. I don't think it'll be more than a game. But
He's on the exempt list, so they have to get him off of that.
but
We don't know.
do you think this helps? And especially with I don't know how long McCole and Kadarius are out, but
McCole just had surgery today.
Successful surgery.
Today, and they plan on having him back by postseason. Now I don't even what's Tony's injury?
Oh no, because he was practicing Friday. He was a full participant Friday, so I'm not
And
sure.
he said it was something going on with his hip. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
So
Hey, man,
we
look,
could
Kept
have
him out.
both of them back, and potentially Ross by
the way they
playoffs.
played yesterday, they can rest up for all I care. Just rest up.
Oh wow!
Just rest up.
So where do you have
Rest up.
the record in the last 6 games?
I don't know if they went out.
Well,
I think
Steve
they
had
may.
them losing to the Chargers. For
I
one.
think they'll.
Last game of the season, you
Yeah,
just
I don't know if they went out, but I got them losing one of those games, and I mean I said it would be the Chargers in LA, but
But
I
not
mean
the
because
Bills
that
game.
game wouldn't mean anything.
You realize they have to, they want to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, right?
I mean,
They need to win out.
I remember
that's the whole
if
MO.
the Baltimore Ravens lose, if they all they got to lose one,
No,
they
no, well,
still
no,
play the
no,
49ers.
Well, Baltimore doesn't
in
lose
40
at all. The Chiefs just have to win because the Chiefs
In San Fran, they got to play the Jags. They have a tough schedule. They
That's
got to
gonna
play
be a tough
Miami.
game. That
Yeah,
They
Steelers
got
game's
to
not
play
going
the
to be.
Steelers.
Yeah,
I mean, they got a tough
True,
go of it.
true. But again,
the Rams.
but again, you're talking about if the Chiefs were to lose, granted they still have the tiebreak over the Jags as well as the Dolphins, but but other teams, if you got them losing, I mean they could still the Ravens could technically still have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs depending on how they end up with the 4 losses.
The Dolphins are going to come to play against Baltimore.
Oh, absolutely.
Know that. Jags.
So the Steelers.
49ers. I mean, those last 4 games of the season, they played the Charge, but the Rams. I mean, man, they got a
That
much
Jaguar
tougher,
game. I mean,
tougher schedule than the Chiefs do going out.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
I mean, if I feel like they lose any game, it'd be I don't know if you
If
win
they were
one,
to lose the
lose
game,
one,
it would be against Buffalo.
So you got them losing.
No,
possibly.
no. I said if they were.
If they, that's what I'm saying. Possibly losing to the Bills.
Yeah,
You say the Chargers.
but I don't think they lose. I think they went out. So.
And Q thinks they're going to lose. Drop 2 or 3 of these
You
months.
possibly go up to Boston
2 at most.
and lose to Bill Belichick.
That ain't happening.
Oh, that ain't happening.
I'm just saying.
You
like,
lose to Mac Jones. I think y'all
I'm going on record.
y'all better not.
I'm going
talk
on record.
about a
They're
Super
going,
Bowl
they're
from
going
that
14.
point.
They went out the rest of the way.
without rest away, I think they'll drop one.
All right.
They'll drop one.
They drop at least one. Yeah.
I can see them dropping one, but I don't see it being to the Chargers. If they lose a game, it's going to be either to the Raiders or the Bills.
I don't think they lose to the Raiders.
And
I don't know if the Raiders
That's
have
what is that?
momentum.
I
Christmas
just
Day?
don't see- Yeah, that's
It's Christmas Day.
Christmas
for the
Day.
Raiders, yeah, I
Christmas
just
Day.
lose them,
Driving
man. They
around the
just-
stadium.
Then you play New Year's Day too, or New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
And New Year's Eve, and then against the Bengals.
That is.
Oh,
Bengals
That
have a
might be the
quarterback.
game.
No.
They have a quarterback.
Is Burrows coming back for that
I
game?
thought he's done for the season.
I thought the little backup was doing well. He's not.
Yeah,
Okay, you must not saw the game yesterday.
No, I didn't.
I thought he was playing okay, but they played Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was
The game was 10-7, wasn't it, Steve?
16.
16-10.
Oh, okay, well, close enough. I mean, 10 points.
I mean, you still got Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon. That,
but the quarterback has to get him the ball.
he did. He got Jamar Chase ball yesterday.
Yeah.
6 targets, 4 receptions, 81 yards.
Was he going up against Snead? Okay.
I mean,
is Snead the chase stopper?
I mean, let's see.
Jamar, don't get me wrong. Like, I like Snead and all, but like Jamar Chase has got off on the Chiefs every single time.
Yeah.
Like, come on, don't forget. I just told you about that. Remember that?
I mean, that was in Cincinnati. This game's going to be in Kansas City.
Okay.
Right,
same.
All right, it is time to make our picks for this Sunday night football game. The Chiefs in prime time against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Cousin, what are we looking like?
Chiefs win. Chiefs win by 7 and retake first place in the AFC.
That was short and sweet.
28-21. This Sunday night, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I see them showing up for this game. I don't feel like Jordan Love's gonna have what they need. But they got Christian. What's Christian's last name? Christian Watson's been he's coming into his own.
Wow.
Wide receiver for the Packers. Yeah,
I thought the
you gotta stop him,
he'll be ready.
man.
Going from Devontae Adams to Christian Watson, I think he'll be ready. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. I said they were gonna score 31 yesterday, and they didn't quite get there. Look, if they start rolling, like once this Chiefs team gets to rolling, then I feel like they should be feared.
When they're gonna be rolling.
I mean, you could possibly parlay last week into this week.
Is that what I just said?
I would say no. You didn't say that. You didn't say not those
check
words.
the tape. I did say he can parlay. Kashad asked me about the offense.
Here, I would say 34.
Oh Lord.
34-10.
What?
34-14, somewhere like that.
All right. Q.
34-14.
All right. I want to say the Packers win, but I don't think they string it together.
Hey man, you killing me.
Every week he starts that. Well, I want to say the opposition is going to win.
I do want to say the Packers win.
I want to say Ray South is going to win.
This would be a icing on top of the season if they lose this one, but it's not.
Why would it be icing?
I mean, you lose to the Lions and you lose to
like your surf and turf is already done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I said that when they lost to the Chiefs.
Your
that
surf and turf is already done.
That was a bad team. That's a bad Dolphins team to pick. But no, I think the Chiefs win it. I think the Packers try to keep it a little close. I think it's a lot closer than what we've seen this week. I don't think they're scoring 30. We'll say 24-28.
24-28. All right. There you have it, folks. That is going to do it for week 12 of the Red Hour live from the W Studios. Once again, we appreciate you checking us out this week and every week. Share the news with your family and friends. They can watch us on YouTube or they can watch us on Facebook Live. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, The Red Hour. And we hope you all have a great week. Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs in Green Bay against the Green Bay Packers. And right now, Monday Night Football is going on. It feels like the 17th time that the Bears and the Vikings have played this season, but it's going down right now. Anyway.
Y'all still eating leftovers?
I didn't have Thanksgiving dinner because I was on the plaza.
Okay.
I had it Friday.
Flipping the switch.
Yeah. So
okay.
Shout out to Tech Nine. First rapper in 94
huge.
years of the plaza flipping the switch.
That's huge.
It was amazing night. So good evening to you all. Be well, be safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you next Monday right here. Same bad time, same bad channel. It's the Red Hour. Peace.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.